we are off. This is the beginning of the 2019 Pine Cone Family Enduro. This is the first of two segments. The first segment was about 20 miles, and we were to average 12-mile-an-hour pace over this first segment. So I limit the video coverage from this segment and saved most of my GoPro battery for the second loop, which was a little bit quicker pace, 18 miles an hour. So not going to see too much of this lap, only about a minute here, and then we'll jump into a little bit faster pace. But this gives you a good idea of what the trail's like. Pretty much real similar to this for most of that 12-mile-an-hour loop. A lot of single track. So here we're coming up on the end of the first loop, and I want to get some footage of all the people at the check here waiting to refuel their riders as they came through. We had about a 30-minute break between this loop and the time we started the second loop to refuel, get something to eat, rehydrate, and then we were on our way again. And if you guys see a gas can with a 223 sticker on it, that would be ours. We left it on the trailer after the race, forgot to pick it up, so hopefully we can get that back eventually. So the rider in front of me here, that's Corey Quinn. He started in our row, and he was in my same class, which was the 16 to 39-year-old division. So we kind of switched back and forth throughout the day. He led most of the way because my mileage seemed to be off for some reason, and he ended up fourth out of, I think, 53 riders in our division today, and I finished up sixth. Came in a minute late to one of the checks early on, and you'll see how that happened here later in the video. But we kind of got off course a little bit and lost a couple of minutes, and of course right after that happened, the check was half mile down the trail, so burned us a little bit. I think he lost a minute and I lost two there because Braden was behind me, and I wanted to make sure he made it back to the main trail. So I sat back and waited for him for another 30 or 40 seconds and made sure he made it back out, knew where to go, and we were on our way again. I think I had about an hour and 10 minutes worth of video to start with, and I had a real hard time editing that footage down to anything under 30 minutes just because these trails were so awesome. I mean, there was a lot of good footage, a lot of good flowing trails, and it's always one of my favorite events just because of that. They put a really good trail system together. They're well ran, and I think there's some good footage today, so I hope you guys enjoy it. So as I edited the film down, I would let it play for a couple minutes, then I'd try to edit a couple minutes out of that same trail. So as we go through, you're progressing forward through our second lap here. We're probably 8 to 10 minutes in at this point, I'm guessing, and we'll continue to skip forward. So I'm riding with my father today, who's riding the 60 plus division, and my son, who's in the 9 to 11 division. So Braden ended up second place on the day. That was his best finish ever in the Pine Cone. He's ridden this event for, I think this was his fourth year riding the Pine Cone, and this was his best finish, so he was pretty excited about that. He rode great today, and if it weren't for me leading the way or not paying attention to an arrow that I missed, he may have actually tied for the lead in his division. So he had a great ride today, did really well. And then my dad, who's 63, put together a good ride, and I think he was 7th out of roughly 25 riders in the 60 plus division, I think. So it just goes to show the quality of this event and how many riders actually come out and did this event this year. It was a record number of riders ever to do this, the Pine Cone Family Enduro, and I believe it was over 350 riders, maybe 360. So awesome event, awesome turnout, and I think this is probably just going to continue to grow from this point forward. Two more! Just telling the rider there that we had 2 more riders behind us. My son and my dad were still right on our tail at this point, so I just wanted to let him know that there were more coming, not to jump out back in front of one of the other riders. This section of the trail was pretty awesome. I really enjoyed this little short stretch here. It's just real tight. A lot of ferns growing in the undergrowth there, and you really couldn't tell more than 20 or 30 feet ahead of you which direction the trail was going to go, which made it exciting, made it fun. So, I mean, Corey was only 20 yards in front of me. I could hear his bike, but I couldn't see him at all. Just really grown up underbrush here and really thick cover, so I enjoyed that section. So we're coming up to a rider here that pulled off and going by her, and then continuing on through this tight brush for another minute or so here, I think. So we are coming up on the missed turn here shortly. You're going to see there's an arrow high in a tree on the right hand side of the trail pointing to the right before we get to this intersection and cross over this trail. And there's 2 riders in front of me that should both go across. And I think I was paying, there's the arrow on the stop sign, I was paying more attention to them. There's a double arrow there turning right, which makes you seem like you're turning here. Well, the front rider, I think, discovers he's wrong. But he never told us he was wrong. He just, well, I should have figured it out when he was getting ready to turn around right there, but I was too busy about getting going again. So I'm going to fast forward here. And overall, by the time we turn around, get back to the main trail, and then I wait for my son, who you're going to see here.
Stop the trail! Stop the trail!
Tell him it's the wrong trail, and then we'll back out. Past another rider who made a wrong turn. There's probably the road behind us going by, so there's a minute. And then by the time I wait for Braden to come back by, it was right at 2 minutes. And now I'm headed down the road here, and there's another check, probably a quarter mile from here, that I come in 2 minutes late to, which is what I just lost on that little miscue there. So instead of a 0, we pick up 2 points here. Unfortunate, should have been paying attention more, but really overall, I don't think it really affected the outcome for my race anyway. I think I may have been 4th instead of 6th, but don't really care. So that came in at the 8-minute mark, and we were in row 6 here. Braden was right behind me then too, so I don't know if he got an 8 or a 9 there. I don't really recall. Really the worst part about picking up those points that early in the lap was that it put us two minutes behind, and we weren't really able to make that back up. So we were basically 6 points behind because there were 3 checks on this segment, or on this second loop here. So. Coming up on my dad here. I think he's the first rider in the group right now, and he had gotten ahead of us when he didn't make the miscue that I did. He made the correct turn, so he pulls off here and lets us by. He wasn't slowing us down much, but those 2 riders in front of me were pretty fast. I wasn't able to keep with them for long, and they were off. So. Probably did the right thing by pulling over there. Thank you to whomever you are for pulling over quickly there. A lot of courteous riders out here today. Everybody I really came up on, they got out of the way as soon as they could. First safe place to get over, they were out of the way and didn't get held up much at all today. So that was awesome. One thing you're going to see in the Family Enduro series, everybody's real courteous riding. They give you plenty of room. If you're the quicker rider, they're going to let you by. I think you see that in the hair scrambles too, but not as courteous, obviously, because it's a little bit more intense racing in the hair scramble series. But definitely in the Family Enduro, if you come up on somebody, they're going to get out of your way and give you room to get by and let you get on your way. I think that's Corey back in front of me there. He had gained a little ground on me when I had waited for Braden, and I was able to catch back up to him here and get back with him, and enjoyed following him today. Some of this tight trail, the single track, not the trail we're on now, but a little bit later on. It was not real well broken in. There hadn't been a lot of riders through it. Started in row 6 and probably passing half the people that had actually started in front of us already. It actually wasn't a whole lot of riders through some of the trail, and it became hard to follow. So following somebody else made it a little bit easier on me, just to kind of pick up the trail and where we were going. And hey, as you can see here, some of this stuff not well beaten in at this point, but once another 50 riders go through here, it's going to be a real well-established trail. But there's parts of this that look like they were probably virgin trail before this event. I'm assuming anyway. So I think we were right at 37 miles, maybe a little over 37 miles for the entire Enduro today. Kids 8 and younger only rode the first segment, first 20 miles of it, and then at the gas break, they actually pulled off and went back to the start. And then everybody else continued on, and then we actually looped back around all the way back to where we started. So 37 miles of trail overall, none of it which was repeated. So great trail system up here in northern Michigan. guys are enjoying this video, go ahead and give me a like on the video and subscribe if you'd like. I put out a lot of D14 racing videos, hare scrambles, sprint enduros, family enduros. So we do a little bit of everything off-road. So if you're interested in seeing more of that type video and footage, so just go ahead and subscribe. You'll get notifications on when I release new videos. But see me at the track, see Braden at the track, say hey to us. We like to hear that people have enjoyed the videos that we put out. So had a couple people come up to me before this race that said they had seen some of the other videos that I'd put out recently and had liked them. So it's always nice to hear that feedback, I guess. So we appreciate it. I'm coming up on a moment here that I'm going to actually slow down, put it in slow motion, because I almost go down pretty hard coming up here, and there's a set of pretty large trees on both sides of the trail. Corey just goes through there. And I clipped my handlebar on that right one pretty good. Kind of shot me off here, and I'm not quite sure how I didn't go down, but wrists were fine, didn't hurt anything, but could have been much worse than what it was. Could hear him coming up behind me there, so I pulled over, give him plenty of room to go around. He caught me, he was faster than me, so I'm just going to let him be on his way. Came into this check here, we were at 10, we'd lost another 2 minutes at this point, so I dropped another 4 points. I think I finished the day with 18 points, going off memory here, don't quote me on that, but I think it was 18. Had a rider down there. Would have stopped to see if he was okay. It looked like he was up and moving, and he had another rider it looked like that he was riding along with there, so it looked like they were in good shape. So I think overall we're probably close to, I don't know, somewhere between probably 32 and 35 miles into our loop right now. So we're getting towards the end. We're starting to get kind of tired. We've been out on the trail for probably close to 3 hours now. Starting to miss some marks, miss some lines, hit some trees. Lose your balance here and there. It's amazing how you start to fatigue, your balance starts to go away, and things that were typically easy for you early on in the race become challenging. I'm to that point now. I'm pretty tired. I, as usual, probably didn't drink as much water as I should have, and I'm getting in better riding shape as the year and the summer goes on, and starting to get where I need to be, but there's always room to improve. Not quite there yet. Still get tired. racer rider there, thank you. So the next family enduro is in Greenville, Ohio, and I think I may take my daughter to that for her first enduro event. She's been riding the Hare Scramble series, District 14, which is usually fairly short track. Normally you can typically see them throughout the entire course, maybe 500 to 1,000 yard course for the most part. Pretty gentle terrain. Oh my gosh, I'm going to cut myself off here and talk you through this. There's a rider down on this hill and kind of took the line, and then I got off and I was like, oh my gosh, nowhere to go. So I just mow over a bunch of saplings there. It wasn't my best moment of the day, but we're back on the trail now. So the Greenville, Ohio Family Enduro is probably one of the more gentle terrain enduros that we ride. So I thought that it would be a good intro for her. So she's on a KTM 50 auto. She's in the 7 to 8 year old division, so she would only ride the first segment. But it's a lot of flat ground, a lot of field riding along the edge of woods through a field. There is some woods, but it's pretty open for the most part. So definitely think it's something that she's capable of. It'll be challenging for her, but it's always good to push yourself and do things that you're not comfortable with. That's how you get to be a better rider. So I think we're going to give that a shot, and think she's going to be able to do it just fine. So if you're looking at taking a new rider out, next family enduro, it's D14 Enduro. There's a family enduro series link there. You'll be able to see the events, get a lot of information there, or you can reach out to me. I'd be happy to share any information I have about the event with you. But it'll be a good one for a young rider or a first-time rider. I think they're very capable of handling that particular enduro. There's another moment coming up here. I'm going to slow it down, and my helmet, I've got a Gopro mount on top of my helmet, which I don't have my camera on currently, but it catches on a tree, and it almost rips my helmet right off of my head, which almost shoots me off into this big tree here. I narrowly miss that tree, and then narrowly miss these trees. I was very fortunate there not to have a little accident, but I mean, that mount is just a stickum with a little I mean, it only sticks up a 1/4 inch off the top of my helmet. I have no idea how it caught, but I talked to my son after the race. The same thing happened to him. I don't know if there's a vine hanging down or what it was, but it got both of us. So that's always why I like to use the chin mounted camera during the woods rides, because you don't have to worry about that typically, but for one reason or another, that one got me. But then this little hill climb here, I got off to the right and clipped my handlebar on that tree, which I had to jump off the bike there. Should have been an easy little hill climb there if I wouldn't have clipped my bar, but I was being lazy and didn't stand up coming up the hill because I was tired, and it cost me. So we're coming up on the final checkpoint here, and just want to thank everybody for watching the video. If you guys enjoyed it, like I said, give us a thumbs up, give us a like, subscribe if you enjoy this content, and we'll be putting some more videos out later this year. I'll close this video like I do most of my videos with some photos of our weekend. We actually camped up here on Friday night and then made our journey back to Indiana Saturday after this event. So you guys take care. Until next time. Thanks.